Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Today is April 21st, and this is for Math 2. Today we're going to look at the area of regular polygons. So what you did yesterday was sort of a review of the past to get us ready for what we need to do today. And we're also going to be using what we learned about polygons a couple days ago last week. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to look at our first example. And in our first example, this is going to be the easier type when they give you two pieces of information. So I'm going to do a pentagon, but it doesn't have to be a pentagon. It could be any shape, any regular polygon. Remember, regular means all the sides are the same, right? It has to be a regular polygon in order to use this method, all right? So we know that all the sides are the same. So then that means what I can do is, looking at this picture, I can split this picture up into some equal triangles. So watch this. If I take this and I draw a line here and here, you see how I created a triangle there? And here, and here, and here. So I basically drew a triangle, a lot of triangles, starting from the center out to each one of the corners. I like to call these like pinwheel triangles because it kind of reminds me of a pinwheel when you look at it from the center and going out, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use what we know about finding the area of a triangle to help me find the area of a regular polygon, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna redraw this triangle right here, just a little bigger on the side so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to draw the triangle out here on the side, and I'm going to put in all the information they gave me. Okay, so now I can look at this triangle, and based on what we learned yesterday, remember that the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, right? So that means that here my base would be 15 times my height, which is 10, divided by 2. So then I can either multiply or divide first, it doesn't matter. 15 times 10 is 150, divided by 2 is 75. So that means that this triangle is 75. Now, if you look at our picture, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the exact same triangles because of the fact that there are 5 equal sides. So if one triangle is 75, then I can multiply by 5 to find out the total of all 5 triangles. So I'm going to multiply by the fact that there are 5 triangles. So then I'll do 75 times 5, and that gives me 375. And that is the area of my pentagon. All 5 triangles together. Okay, and now notice this one says feet. So then since it's area, I'm going to put feet squared. And there's my final answer. Okay, now we're going to look at a couple more examples where they only give us one piece of information, but the topic of your assignment is going to be just like this because they give you 2 pieces of information, so it makes it easier. When they only give you one thing, you have to do a little bit of extra work, but it still can be done. Okay, so let's look at our second example here, where they're only giving us one piece of information. Now, this is a square. As you can see, they're right angles and there's 4 equal sides. So this is a square. So since it's a square, you might think, oh, I know how to find the area of a square. It's just side times side, or side squared. Yes, that's true, but I don't know the length of the side, so I can't use that method. I'm going to use exactly the same method as I did above because I can split this into equal triangles. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to split it up into equal triangles. If I go from the center out to each of the corners, just like I did on the last one, like so. So you'll notice I have 4 triangles and I have 1 piece of information there. So I'm going to redraw this triangle on the side just so we can see it a little bit better. Okay. and I'm going to put in the information that I know. So this is 6 square root of 2. Okay? Now, you'll notice in the top triangle, do you see how I need the height right here to be able to find out my area? And I also need the base. In this case, it's not giving me either the height or the base. So I'm going to draw in that height, like so. Okay, and I am going to find what I need to find. Now, before I can do that, I'm going, obviously, since I only have one piece of information, I'm going to have to need something else to be able to find it. Okay, now, what I want to do is what we talked about before, use what we know about regular polygons to help me find my missing information. Okay, so you'll notice that if you look in the center right here where all 4 of the triangles are, if I were to go here from here and I go all the way around, that's going to make a full circle, which means all the way around the center would be 360 degrees, right? And there are 4 triangles or 4 angles right here. So if I were to take that 360 degrees from the center here and split it up between the 4 angles that are right there, I could find out what this top angle is right here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 360 degrees from the center, dividing by the 4 angles right here. And that's going to give me 90, right? So that means this whole top angle right here is 90, right? This whole top angle is 90. All of these are 90s. So I'll just put it in here so you can see it. These are 90s. Okay. Now remember, we drew a line down the center here. So if the whole thing is 90 and I want to cut that in half, then I can find one of these angles. So if I were to do the 90 and I were to split it evenly by the 2 angles right here that we have, then I know that this angle right here is a 45, which you should go, oh, I've seen a 45 before. If this is a 45, that means this is also a 45 because this is a 90, which, as you can tell, means we're going to be using our special right triangles. Okay, so on the 45, 45, 90, I'll just do a little reminder right here on the side. Okay, on a 45, 45, 90, remember when you have your picture, that the 2 sides are the same, right? And then to get to the hypotenuse, we multiply by the square root of 2, right? So here I have the hypotenuse. So if I want to go backwards to this side, I'm going to divide by square root of 2, which means this side is 6, and these 2 sides are the same, so that means this is also 6. Okay, so I'm almost ready because I have the height and I have part of the base, but we know that this, the whole bottom, should be 6, and this one should be the same. It should also be 6. So then the whole bottom is going to be 12. And I did a horrible job of drawing that triangle. Even with graph paper, I apologize. I should have done a better job. Okay, so now I can find my area of my triangle just like I did before. So now we're right back to where we were above. We just had to do a little bit of extra work. So the area of the triangle would be the base, which is the 12 here, times the height, which is the 6 here, divided by 2. So 12 times 6, 72, divided by 2, 36. Okay. And then if you look back at your picture, there were 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles, pinwheel triangles, because of the fact that it has 4 sides. So I'm going to multiply by 4 because there are 4 triangles. So 36 times 4 is 144. And this is my area of my square. And I need units. Now you'll notice that there's no units in the original. That doesn't mean that I can leave off the units in my answer. It just means I'm going to call them U for units. And then obviously, because it's area, it has to be squared. So there's my final area. It's a little bit of extra work. Okay, but it's just the process above, but we have to find the angle and the missing pieces. Let's look at another one where they only give us one piece of information. Okay, so here you'll notice it's a hexagon. They, again, only give me one number. Okay, but I'm going to start the same. Okay, I'm going to start the same. I'm going to start by drawing in my triangles. So from the center to each one of the vertices. That's always my first step. Okay, so there are my triangles. They're all equal because all the sides are equal. Okay, so if I find the area of one triangle, I can find the area of all of them. So I'm going to redraw this triangle right here again on the side, just like I did before. Okay, so I'm going to draw my triangle right here. Okay. Okay, so there's my triangle. And I'm going to draw in the height and the right angle. And I'm going to put the information that I have. This bottom, the whole bottom is 4. Okay? All right. So we're going to now use the information that we know to find what we need to find. Okay? So first thing I need to know, just like we done the last one, is I need to know what this angle is up here. So remember, all the way around the center, if I start here and I go all the way around, that's 360 degrees. So if I want to find one angle, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angles because there's 6 triangles in a hexagon. So I'm going to do 360 divided by 6, which is going to give me 60 degrees. So each one of these have a 60-degree angle right there. Right? I'm just drawing one, but they're all the same. So if this whole angle right here is 60, I only need half of that for this piece. That means that 60 divided by 2 gives me an angle of 30. So I'm dividing by 2 because there's 2 angles right here. So this piece has to be 30. And again, that's not a coincidence. You should automatically notice it's a 30 and a 90, which means this is 60 down here. So we're going to use, again, our special right triangles. Okay, so first things first, the whole bottom is 4. So that means this piece here is 2 because it's half. Since it's all the way across 4, this would also be 2. Okay. And on a 30, 60, 90, I'll just remind us really quick by drawing a picture, just in case you forgot. So on a 30, 60, 90, remember this side is 1. And then to get to the hypotenuse, I multiply by 2. And to get to the side with a 30, I multiply by square root of 3. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, so I have 2 here. So to get to the hypotenuse, I would multiply by 2. But I don't need the hypotenuse to find the area of a triangle. So I can do that if I want, but I don't need it. But I do need this one. So to get from here to here, I'm going to multiply by square root of 3, just like we did on this one down here. So that would make this 2 square root of 3. Okay, so then I'm going to find my area of my triangle. So base, the whole base is 4 times height. The height is the 2 square root of 3 that we found, divided by 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So it's 4 square root of 3. That's one of these triangles. And then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles because it has 6 sides. So I'm going to multiply by the 6 triangles, the pinwheel triangles. And I just multiply the whole numbers. So 4 times 6 is 24 square root of 3. That's my area of my hexagon. Okay. And again, there are no units, but I still need units in my answer. So I'm just going to put U for units. And then since it's area, it's squared. Okay, now this is a little bit long today, but I want to just make sure I clarify everything. So we're going to do one more just to be sure we're okay, right? So let's look at one more where they only give you one piece of information. Okay, now here you might say, that's just a triangle, so base times height divided by 2. Well, yeah, but they don't give me the entire height. This is like part of it. And they don't give me a side, so I can't use my normal way. What I'm gonna do is just what I've been doing. I'm gonna split it up into those pinwheel triangles, okay? So from the vertex to the center, I'm gonna draw in my pinwheel triangles. So see how I can make those smaller triangles there? So I'm gonna redraw that on the side. This one right here, I'm gonna redraw on the side. Remember, they're all the same. So I'll redraw it on the side here. Okay, there's the triangle on the side. And in that triangle, they tell me that this piece is 8. So I do have the height of that part of the triangle. Okay. All right. So now I need to use what I know to find my missing angle so that I can find the missing sides. So over here again, all the way around is 360 degrees. So I have 360 degrees. And then I'm going to split that up between the 3 pinwheel triangles that I drew. So that's 120 degrees. So these angles right here are 120. So is this one. Okay, so if this whole angle is 120 degrees, then I got to split it in half to find only one. So 120 divided by 2 means that this angle is a 60. And again, not a coincidence. If this is a 60 and this is a 90, then that means this has to be 30. So just like we did on the last one, I need to be able to use my 30, 60, 90. Okay, so I'll redraw it again just so you can see it again. So my 30, 60, 90. Okay, so remember, from the 60 side to the hypotenuse, we multiply by 2, so that's 2. From the 60 side to the 30 side, we multiply by square root of 3, so that's square root of 3. Okay, so here they give me the 8, it's next to the 60, so I'm here. Okay, it's just rotated. And I need to get to the 30 side down here. Okay, so from the 60 side to the 30 side, it's just rotated. I need to multiply by square root of 3. So 8 times the square root of 3 means this piece down here is 8 square root of 3. And again, I don't need the hypotenuse to find the area of a triangle, but I could write it if I want to. Now, if this part over here is 8 square root of 3, then so is this part. So then that means this whole entire bottom that I'm going to need for my triangle, 8 plus 8 gives me 16 square root of 3. Remember, the square root of 3 just kind of hangs along. Okay? So then I can find my area of my triangle, just like we've been doing. So area of the triangle equals base, which is 16 square root of 3, times height, which is the 8, divided by 2. Okay? So then you can do whatever order you want when you're multiplying. If you do 16 times 8, you get 128. And then you can divide by 2 and get 64, or you can do it the other way. It doesn't matter. So the square root of 3 just kind of hangs along. That's one of these pinwheel triangles. And of course, since there are 3 sides, I have 3 pinwheel triangles. So I'm going to multiply by 3 pinwheel triangles here. And so then the area of the whole triangle, I'll just put big triangle just so we know what we're talking about here. The area of the whole triangle, I'm going to multiply 64 times 3, which is 192, and then bring down the square root of 3. Okay? And again, there's no units, so I'm just going to put U for units, and since it's area, it's squared. I guess I should have put here maybe the small triangle so it's not confusing you. Okay? So I want to be really clear here. There are 3 cases that you could have where they only give you one piece of information and you can use special right triangles. These are the examples that I gave you. So square, hexagon, triangle, obviously when they're all equilateral, meaning all the sides are the same. If they give you 2 pieces of information, then you can find any regular polygon just by doing the shorter version. Okay? So if you guys have any questions, please do let me know. I know this one's a little bit more complicated, so reach out to me if you need me. Remind, Google Classroom, email, whatever you need. Let me know. Okay, have a great day, guys.